What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking out the Challenger Mark II. This is a British top-tier tank at 9.7 battle rating. And all I hear these days is how awful British top-tier tanks are. And honestly, I just don't agree with that. After you get past the Chieftain Mk, British really takes off. And it's going to get even better when the Challenger Mark III gets here in the 1.85 patch, which is coming up probably next week. Now, the Challenger Mark III is not a significant upgrade. Pardon the idiot driving. Sidetracked a little bit there. The Mark III is an upgrade with two respects. Number one, it gets a slight improvement in armor on the hull, on the front hull, with some additional ERA. It's kind of useless, quite frankly, because it protects you only up against, I think, 30 millimeters of kinetic energy munitions and 300 millimeters of chemical energy munitions. And everything at this tier will blow right through that. So it's really not much of an improvement. But the big improvement there is the fact that you get rid of the APDS shell and you get replaced with APFSDS shell right out of the gate. So your stock shell on the Mark III, as it is configured on the dev server, is the APFSDS shell, which is great. What this means, though, more than anything, is that the Mark III is going to act as a lineup filler. You're going to have not only the Mark III in your lineup, but the Mark II. So you've basically got a backup right out of the gate, without spending any gold on a backup, or war bonds on a backup. My ally here is calling for help at B. He's up against a Type 90. Unfortunately, he loses the battle. I come in here a little bit too late. And for some reason, this guy isn't on the cap. It'd be nice if he would stop the cap. Come on, buddy, get on the cap. Stop the cap. Where's this Type 90? Anyway, I'm really excited about the Mark III because it allows you to have another Challenger, and the Challenger is a huge difference, or is a huge upgrade over the Chieftain Mark X with respect to the mobility. You can, at least to some extent, keep up with the Abrams. Where here he is. Here's the Type 90. Turn your turret. Turn a little bit more. Thank you. Goodbye. Don't you wish they could listen to you? So if you're interested in British high tier, I really think that the Mark III will make a difference in your lineup. Right now, if you lose your Mark II, your next best tank is likely going to be your Chieftain Mark X. Now, the Mark X is a fine tank, don't get me wrong. However, its mobility is absolutely horrid compared to this. The turret's strong, the gun is strong, but it's all about that mobility. A top tier mobility is so important these days. Not only for dealing with enemies, but also just to keep up with the Abrams tanks. I mean, the Abrams can run circles around the Chieftain Mark X. But the Challenger Mark II has actually got really good mobility. You can actually keep up with your Abrams to some extent. They still have quite a bit more horsepower per ton ratio, but they're still a solid tank. There, I finally hit the optimal shot, taking out the breach on that Leopard. There we go. Finish him off. Got a couple of kills here. One of those was an assist. I contemplate where to go next. Do I go to C? Do I hang around B and defend it? And I think I make the right decision and to stick around B. The only issue is, although I say that the Challenger Mark II does have really good mobility, the relatively mediocre power to weight ratio in comparison to the Abrams kind of shows here, because I'm not able to get this out quite all that fast. The XM1 is coming under fire from something in the background. I can't see what it is. He's not marking it. There's something back there behind a ridgeline. But we do have air up. I don't know if you can hear that P-47 engine coming in, but he's spotted himself at a juicy little Leopard target for his bombs. So he's out of here. something else back there shooting. I don't know if that's another leopard or let's see, an AH-1Z just took out T-62. I think that 1Z was that guy that was in the M2A4 at the start of the battle who was kind of afraid to get on the cap. Somebody's got marked here to the right. Now, the reason I didn't go back towards Charlie is because the city fighting is not one of the strengths of this vehicle. You really want to use it in a hold down position, and that's really where the middle. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that there was a tank back there approaching, and I put on the brakes. I didn't want to expose my flank to him. But I don't like fighting in the city with this because you can't really protect the hull as well as you can in here in the A or B area of the map, where you have lots of hills to conceal yourself. Once again, he's not paying fully attention. Take out the Leopard 2A4. That's an easy kill for the Challenger Mark II. And just think, the Mark III is going to get an APF SDS shell right out of the gate, stock. So just think of how much easier the stock grind and the Challenger Mark III may end up being. He's popped smoke. Probably the right thing to do considering we got an AH-1Z up. Not that it matters in the end. Helicopters are so strong right now, and they're going to get even stronger in the patch. Because not only are they going to be able to get air-to-air missiles, they have higher pen air-to-ground missiles. You've got anti-infrared protection devices. I mean, it's insane what helicopters are going to be able to do here in the near future. So after a little bit of driving around, I did eventually go to sea with my teammates and picked up the cap. With 3 kills, a premium account, and a talisman, I picked up just under 12,000 in vehicle research with the Challenger Mark II, and all that is going towards the Warrior. But that 12,000 in vehicle research, even from just a 3-kill, 2-cap game, that's why you want to put a talisman on these high-tier tanks. I love this camo, by the way. I'll put a link to it in the video description below. You can download it if you're on PC or Mac, Linux. Unfortunately, there's no way to get it on console, but it's completely free of charge. Anyway, we are on Tunisia. I'm pushing this side with Charlie, or excuse me, of Charlie with the Abrams. I got a whole team of Abrams on the ridgeline behind me. I don't know if you can see that on the mini map. I'm coming around here to try to get on this flank and eventually scout up on to the ridgeline. There's almost always somebody up there playing a more defensive role. Usually something with high ammo or high armor. There we go. It's a T-80B. I think I just clipped the rock. But there's another T-80B to the bottom right of him. He's on a lower level. I didn't see him initially, but you may have seen him there in the bottom of your picture. Just missed my target, but you can see there's some smoke coming out. You gonna come up, buddy? No, but you are. I'll take that. The first T-80B is down. And these two guys are, by the way, they were in the same squad. So they were working in pretty good unison there for a second. You know, one was always in a position to fire. Unfortunately, I looked away at just the wrong time, and when he pushed out, I wasn't quite ready with the trigger. So I ended up losing my gun barrel. Thankfully, no crew were taken out. So this is a pretty quick repair. But if you notice next to me, we got our first Abrams here. The IP1, and he's not alone. He is in a squad of 3, and they aren't the only Abrams here. They got a whole bunch of them coming, and here they come. Oh my god, I would be terrified if I saw this train of Abrams coming at me, because you know these guys are in voice comms, Discord, TeamSpeak, whatever. You just know that these guys are working together on comms. they've got that angle covered, so I figured I'd come over here and take a look at anything that was coming in from B. But no, there's nothing here. So now it's time to push this T-80. Strangely enough, one of these Abrams decides to go in the same direction I was originally going to go, and leaving two of his allies to deal with this T-80. I mean, maybe his approach was going to be to come along the opposite side of the bridge and come over the bridge and deal with this T-80, but the one on the right ends up exposing his lower front plate. The one on the left takes out the T-80. At the time, I didn't know that that the T-80 died. So I'm half expecting this guy to push through the smoke, or eventually take me out if I push through. So that's why I'm so hesitant here. I'm thinking this T-80's right here, ready to smack me down here. The M1 is, or excuse me, the IP1 pushes through, and he's on fire, unfortunately. It's from another guy who's on this ridge line in the smoke. Come on, Challenger. There we go. See, the Challenger is good, but it's not great on all terrain. This guy pushes out foolishly, and he gets ammo racked. That was not smart. So with the M1 Abrams next to me repairing, and me having to repair my tracks, I decided to pop smoke. And thankfully, the Challenger Mark II doesn't get rid of all of its smoke in one shot. I believe you get 2 uses of the smoke grenades, which is really great. I like the tanks where they have you where they give you multiple uses. Some tanks, for example, allow you to only use 1 smoke shell at a time, or 1 smoke grenade at a time. I like that. Gives you some flexibility. Sometimes you only need to put smoke in one specific spot on the map, rather than to cloud the entire map. So my intent here is to come around the backside of this ridgeline and get anything that was still back here. After all, I can't see everything from the front, and you just never know what you're going to find back here. Sometimes you'll encounter a Raketen Jagdpanzer or an SPA, or who knows, right? You just never know. But instead, the only thing we find is there's a KPZ-70 coming out of the spawn. And he is rather unfortunate because he just doesn't see this coming. I mean, why are you looking behind your spawn? I don't understand that at all. But anyway, he goes down, and that would be the last kill of the battle for me. It would be, as you can expect, the typical spawn camp. I would not see any more action. I would kind of see the AH-1Z is cleaning up the SPA. The team was done at this point. I mean, what are you going to do against all those helicopters? Anyway, this was pretty typical of my matches today. 3 kills, 9,000 in vehicle research, 17,000 in silver lions. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that thumbs up button, and of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.